Hello and welcome to Intech Centre's Functional Skills Navigational tutorial. My name is Jada and I will be guiding you through this video. Please note that this video is made for educational purposes only for Intech Centre's customers and learners. In no way is this video affiliated with City and Guilds, and we cannot guarantee that the answers and steps provided are 100% correct. Please also note that there are different ways in which you can answer the questions in the exam, and it is only a guide. If you have any queries, complaints or feedback about the content of this video, please email us at info@intechcenter.com. To begin with, you can access the online tutorial and the sample papers by visiting Intech Centre's website at www.intechcenter.com. This will lead you to the home page. There you will find information and guidance on preparing for your functional skills exam. Please click on the Exams tab located here. There you will see two options for the Functional Skills English Level 2 exam and the Functional Skills Maths Level 2 exam there as well. So if we click here, we can see information about the exam. If you scroll down, you can see the relevant tabs: exam preparation, qualification, duration, pass mark, the cost, and how to book an exam. For today's video, we will be going through the navigational tutorial. It's important that you go through this a couple of times to understand the functionality of different items in the actual exam and understand the steps that you need to take. So if we click on this blue link here where it says Navigational Tutorial, this will open up the City and Guilds Navigational Tutorial. As this is a demo, you can press OK and confirm all the options. So I'm just going to confirm here. This leads us to the Functional Skills Mathematics Navigation tutorial. So during this tutorial you'll be able to practice using the item types that may appear in City and Guilds Functional Skills Mathematics assessments. To move to the next screen, click the next button below. You can skip to a question by using the buttons that run down the side of the window. When you are ready, click the Finish button in the top right hand corner of the screen to end the tutorial. So this is a demo, this is a navigation tutorial. It's very much advised that you do this before you sit your actual exam. So here we have preferences. If you click on this, we can change the layout of the text and the colours on the screen. So if you have any preferences, you could do this before the exam. We're just going to click on the relevant tabs here. So there's a tutorial here. Okay. So time remaining. The amount of time remaining will be displayed in this area of the screen. So this will be around here. In this example, the candidate has 44 minutes and 36 remaining. So keep an eye out for the time remaining that you have in your exam. So on this side of the screen, you'll be able to see the candidate ID. So this will be your own number and your own name. You can also press the tutorial button at any time using the exam to see the tutorial if you're not familiar with the features already. And you can finish the exam by selecting the Finish button. Please make sure that you do this only once you have checked all your answers, as it will ask you to confirm whether you want to end the exam. There's also next and back buttons that you can use to go from question to question. There's also the question buttons. There's two ways you can move on to different questions. You can use the next and back button here, or you can also select the task number to move on. So there's section buttons and there's also question buttons. Each section has a different amount of questions. So the current question will be indicated by an arrow-shaped button. In this example, the current question is question number 4. As you can see here, the arrow is pointing at number 4. If a question has not been attempted, this will be indicated by a black question. In this example, question 5 has not been attempted. If a question has been attempted, this will be indicated by a grey question button. In this example, question 1 has been attempted. You can also flag the options, so by pressing the flag key, which is at the bottom. To do this, select the flag button, and then it will appear, so if you want to go back to any questions, you can flag it, or if you haven't answered any questions, so that's how you can do that. You can change the preferences button, so this will change the display settings as we went through earlier. To display the exam introduction screen, select the introduction button, and that's the end of that. So I'm just going to close this now. Okay. So now we're just going to go through the functional skills mathematics navigation tutorial. So if I press next, so calculator. An on-screen calculator is available to use. Click on the calculator icon below to open and practice using the calculator. It is possible to move the calculator around on screen, so you can move it to somewhere that's suitable for you. For most questions, you need to show you're working out and/or give a written response. The text entry tool will be available to write your answer. To use it, click anywhere in the box. You can practice using the box below. So this is where we can input any values that we want to. So if we want +5 equals, or you can write any written responses. Some questions may require you to use the calculation toolbar. So these are you can change the font here. You've got bold settings if you want to make something bold, italics, underline. You can also change the adjustments. So for this one, so if you press this one, that'll give you that. You can also use indices, so this is to show indices, so if we wanted to make that 2 squared, we could do that. You also have various calculations here, so you've got brackets, pi, percentage, degrees, multiplication, addition, divide, subtraction, equals, squared there, cube there, greater than and more than. So you can use those as well. You can also undo any actions. So let's just try undo those. And there we go. And if you want to set the margins there, indent any paragraphs. Okay, so that's that one. Please also make sure that you scroll all the way down. So if you see this scroll bar, just so that you don't miss any questions. So it says drag and drop. For some questions, you'll be asked to drag and drop an object into a table. Practice by dragging the names of the actors below into the table with the tallest first, and then write how tall you think they are in the box. So, I think Tom Cruise is quite short. So let's put Clint Eastwood. Jason Statham's probably 6 foot. This is just a guess. 5'7". 5. So this is an example. We can go next. So, for some questions you'll be asked to select your answer from a drop-down list. Simply click on the drop-down arrow to show the possible answers. Click on the answer you would like to select. Practice on the questions below. Do you agree with the statement? Yes or no. The average I'm going to use is the mean, or the median, in the mode. The number 30,000 written in words is 30,000. So there we go. So that's the drop-down list. Probability scale. Some questions will ask you to record your answer on a probability scale. Click in the boxes to add the scale. Click along the scale and a pointer will appear to show the probability. A practice probability is provided below. So let's say our probability is a half, which is 0.5. So let's say we got the answer 0.5 for our probability. So this is the probability scale. It's very simple. The probability scale goes from 0 to 1. That's if we're using decimal points. We then click and drag the X to show where our probability will go. So let me just move that you just click on the X and drag it to place it. You can also use text bars to indicate the probability that you want to show. So I click on text bar, drag it to place it in the position I want, and then I can, using the tools here, I can make the text bar bigger or smaller and change the length and width. There's also various tools that you can use. This is a line tool, a rectangle tool, an oval tool. You can also change the colours, undo the last step, copy and paste any items, and bring any images forward and backwards. During the test, you may be asked to create a table using the Table Creator tool. Practice creating a table using the tool below. So this, if you see on this side of the screen, it will go through all the options that you can use. So this undoes any action. So if we write here timetable, if I wanted to remove it, if I press undo, I can remove this like this. You can add columns and rows. So if I wanted to add another column, I can add one there. If I wanted to add a row, I can add one there. So this allows me to add any symbols. So I've got lots of characters that I can use if I wanted to put percentage. So that's that. This one changes the width of the column. The height of the row. If I wanted to change the font size to make it bigger, so let's try that. So that makes it bigger, makes it smaller, and I can also format the text as well. So I can format text here. So bold. This changes the cell colour, and this one will change the text colour. So you have many different options that you can do. You can also align your text to the centre, align your text to the bottom, and you can also merge and unmerge cells. Don't worry about this too much. If you do make a mistake and add an extra column or an extra row in your table, this won't mark you down in your exam. So area shader. Some questions will ask you to shade squares to complete your answer. To do this, click on the square or squares that you want to shade. Clicking on a square a second time will remove the shading. An area shader with a picture of a garden will be provided for you to practice on. So if you wanted to shade all the areas of the grass, I could do this. If I wanted to unshade, I just click on the square again. If I wanted to, let's say, shade all the trees, okay, just unpick those, so I've shaded the area where the map shows, the key shows there's trees. Okay. For some questions you'll be asked to draw a diagram. You will need to use the Diagram Creator tool to do this. A blank diagram creator is available below. Use the information box to learn about the functions available. So you've got the information box there. Navigate this information box using the arrows above. Click on the right hand arrow to continue. So you can use this to select any objects. When an object is selected, it can be moved, resized or rotated. You can delete objects by using this tool to select them and then pressing delete button on your keyboard. You can select multiple objects at once by dragging a box around them. Use this tool to draw lines. Click the place you want your line to start, click where you want the line to end, and it will be drawn. So let's do this. So if I wanted to make a line from here, and then I will click again to end the line there. So that will be the line. If you want to change the size or position of the line, you can use the select tool. So if we select the line, and now we want to make this shorter. So we've done that there. So you click, you drag, and then you click again to end the line. So it says use this shape to draw a rectangle. First click on the rectangle button, then click the screen where you want to place your shape, and a default shape will be added. So I click on the rectangle tool, I click on the graph, on the diagram, and this is my square. So I can now change this by adjusting its width and length. So I first click on the shape, I click on where I want to adjust, so I want to click here, and you see this arrow button comes up. I then click and drag the shape to where I need it to be. So if I wanted to make the length there, and let's say if I wanted to make it bigger, this is going to be, let's just make it a rectangle first. Okay, so you can make a square and a rectangle with this tool. So if I wanted to be longer this way, so I hover over until I get the arrow shape there, and then click and drag to where I need it to be. So let's say if I wanted to make it there, and then let go. This cursor will move the shape where you want it to be. So let's say if I wanted to move it at the bottom there, so I can move there. So remember to drag to move your cursor until the arrow line comes up. That's where you can move the rectangle. The shape can be resized by clicking and dragging any of the handles on the outline of the rectangle. Select the handle in the middle to move the shape. Hovering just outside the corner handles will enable rotation of the shape. So I can also rotate the shape if I wanted to. So let's say if I wanted to rotate it there we go. Graph Creator bar chart. For some questions you might need to draw a bar chart. You can use the Graph Creator tool to do this. A blank graph creator is available below. Use the information box to learn about the functions available. So please select the type of graph you want to make. So you might have an option to select other graphs. So there might be line graphs, pie charts, or scatter diagrams. So we have bar chart here. So I'm going to click on bar chart. So navigate this information box using the arrows above. Click on the bar chart button in the center of the tool, and then the right hand arrow above to continue. This undoes any action, so we will try that later. You can use the text tool to add text to the graph. So let's say we just delete that, and we can write bar chart. So this could be the title of the bar chart. So you click on the T icon to do this. So we can add as many bars as we want here. So let's say we have a set of data, we want to make a bar chart for 4 sets of data that we've worked out. So this is the number of bars, you just select how many you needed. So let's say we're doing 3, and then you click and drag to the values that you need. You can also change the bar colour. Click on this bar colour tool. You can change the colour, so we like blue there, and then you fill the bar with the colour. So we need some values for our bar. So we can go to Edit Axis, the maximum value. So it's always good to have an idea of what your maximum value is. So the default there is 10. To show the numbers, you click this button. The numbered divisions, so we could have just one numbered division, that will show us 10. We could also have, let's have 5, so that will show us each 2. We could also have 10, and that will show us 10 values there. So this will make it easier, so you just press OK. You can also have a minimum value if you want. So if you wanted to change the minimum value to 5, so that will change that. Let's just keep it 0 for now, and then you press OK. This will make it easier for me to drag the bars. So if I wanted the first bar to be 10, the second bar to be 5, and the first one to be 1. You can also add a key. So we're going to change the colours. So let's say yellow and orange to show what these bars represent. So if you click on Add Key, you can enter key title. So colours, and then you go to Add Key Item. You then go to Edit, and then this shows up the editing key. You can change the colour and show this. Okay, so apply. So we can change this one. So you go to Add Key Item, go to Edit. You can also delete any function, so just go to Edit. We're going to change this to yellow. And then apply. Okay. If you wanted to delete the bar, you've made a mistake, you can just press X and then redo it. And then you press OK to make sure you've confirmed. This will come up here on this box. So this will give you the. You can also enter the bar chart title if you liked, or the key title. If you wanted to make your bars 3D, it's optional. You can do so there. And if you wanted to reset all the options that you've done, so it says Reset button. If you reset the graph, the current graph will be deleted. Are you sure you want to reset the graph? Yes. Okay, so that's how to do a bar chart. For some questions you might need to draw a line graph. You can use the Graph Creator tool to do this. A blank graph creator is available below. Use the information box to learn about the functions available. Navigate this information box using the arrows above. Click on the line graph button in the centre of the tool, and then the right hand arrow above to continue. So we're going to click line graph. Okay, so this gives us this. So again, the undo button undoes any actions, the last action that you've performed. The select tool will allow you to move items once they have been added. Use create new line to add a line to the graph. Click the button once to activate it, then click once to place the start of the line, and then again to place the end of the line. These points can be moved if required using the select tool. So we can try that here. I wanted to create a line that goes like this. Use add point to add points to your line, changing its shape as they are added. Use the select tool to select the line that you want to edit before adding any points, as otherwise they might be added to the wrong line. So if you wanted to add more lines, you can add more points there. Use the remove point tool to remove unwanted points from your line graph. So for instance, if you made a mistake, but you don't want to delete the whole line, you can remove these points here. So you just click where you want to remove on already placed points. So if I wanted to add another point, if I wanted to make a new line, again, I click on the line that I want to make, and then adding new points here. So you can use the text box tool again. So I'm just going to try line graph. You can also make the text box bigger or smaller if you like, and also change the size of the font or making it bold or underlined in italics. So we just close this. This will keep our text box. Adding a key is optional. You can label your chart using text boxes if you prefer. So you click Add Key. So similar to the bar chart, Add Key item. So we go to Edit. So maybe we're going to change this line. Apply. This will apply, and then you can see the box there changes. So we could write line graph. Okay. So this is what that's done. You can also edit the axis, so we have some values here. So remember the maximum value that goes there. So if we wanted to make that 100, and then the minimum value, let's keep it at 0. You can also change this. Let's say you wanted to do 100. Remember to click Show Numbers and Numbered Divisions. So we have 10. So this 10 will be appearing at the bottom, and then 100 there. So you can click as many as you want. It's good to go for an even number, so let's say 5 or 10. There we go, press OK. And then clicking Reset will allow you to clear all the work you've done and start a new chart. Using this will delete your work, and you cannot use Undo to get it back, so only do it if you need to. Selecting the Undo button will undo the last action performed, so I forgot to show you that in the previous bar chart tutorial. So you press Undo. That will undo the values that we've done there, so that's undoing the text box, I'm assuming. Oh, no. Okay. So, just going to move on. For some questions you might need to draw a pie chart. You can use the Graph Creator tool to do this. A blank Graph Creator is available below. Use the information box to learn about the functions available. So a pie chart. So a pie chart is good to do when you have fractions, percentages or decimals or something out of 100. So it's good to use a pie chart. So you just select pie chart from the available options. So if you wanted to add a text box, you could do so. For a pie chart, the number of segments is very important. So if we had a pie chart, we can make 2 segments, we can make 3, 4, as many as you need. To change the values of the percentages, because they appear as percentages, you just click on the line and you drag it. So let's say we wanted this to be 12.5% the first segment, and the second one would react accordingly. So if we wanted to make this 12.5, and then we wanted to make this, let's say, 40%, so everything would equal to 100%. It's a little bit fiddly once you get the hang of it. It's good. So now we have a nice pie chart. You can also colour the segments also. So we can click blue. And as again, you have a key that you can use also. So using the number of segments to choose how many segments there are in your pie chart, clicking the up arrow will add a segment, clicking the down arrow will move them. After a segment has been added, you can use the select tool to change its size. So this is about adding a key. And then clicking reset is also to clear all the work that you've done and to start a new chart. For some questions you might need to draw a scatter graph. You can use the Graph Creator tool to do this. A blank Graph Creator is available below. Use the information box to learn about the functions. This is a scatter graph. So you just click on scatter graph. So if we want to add any scatter points, we can add as many as we want. So I'm just going to add some very randomly. If you wanted to remove any, you just click on this button with the minus. This will remove any points. So click and drag from the line of best fit button to add a line to your graph. So I'm going to make a few points so I can have a line of best fit. So click and drag to hold. So you click the line of best fit tab and then position it to where you want. So let's say I want my line of best fit to go there, so I'm going to drag it there. So this is a starting point. And then this one, I'm going to click on the X and drag to where I need it to go. So if I wanted to make my line as best fit here, so you just click, drag, and then undo the click, and that will drag it to the position. So this, again, will undo the last action that you've done. So that's that. That's the line of best fit. The select tool to move any objects in the graph. So add to create points on the graph. Click the button once to change the cursor to add mode, and then click on the graph to create points. So if you wanted to add a text box, so we can make this bigger just so that it shows the first bit. And then again, adding a key is optional. You can just label a chart using text boxes if you want to. And then edit axis, which is important because it shows us the values that we're working on. And then, so if I have 10, it makes it easier so when I do plot the value. So the first thing that you should do is click on the graph that you want to create and then edit the axis. So this will give you a working starting point to place your points or your bars or your pie chart segments. And then you press OK. So that's the reset. Okay. So this comes to the end of the tutorial. Thank you very much for watching and wish you the best in your functional skills maths online test.